I wanted to start out by asking that obviously Mel Brooks is such a massive influence on film and television, particularly since the days of Sid Caesar. So, for you guys, what was your first exposure to Mel Brooks, whether it was a movie or whether it was something on television?
I watched History of the World. So I watched Blazing Saddles when I was like 4.
Yeah, I don't. It was Blazing Saddles. Was that the first one?
Well, Producers was first.
Okay,
but Blazing Saddles I saw first.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably Blazing Saddles for me also.
Yeah, and it blew. I mean, I was even a little kid, but it's still. I was like, oh my god, and it holds up.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that when you see it as a kid, you kind of don't quite understand it, but then the older you get, the more you have an appreciation for it, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
But it was a short jump from there to History of the World Part 1, which I watched, I count it real quick, 100 times growing up. So I was very happy when we got the chance to work on this.
I'm not going to age myself and say, you're a show of shows.
I used to see him with the Catskills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I heard that this was an idea, the television show was something that Mel had been holding on to for a while and then brought Nick on and everybody else on. So can you guys give me a rundown a little bit of how it came about, how you guys got involved?
Well, Nick called me and I thought for sure it was a prank. I was like, what? You want me to work with you on a Mel Brooks project? History of the World 2? Okay. Absolute yes, 100%. And then we met with Ike and his partner David, and it was like absolutely great match.
When he called, he was kind of giving me like a sell. He was like, "It's 8 episodes. It's from Mel, but we think we could do some stuff." And I was like, "Just shut up!" Like, the answer is yes. You know, do you want to work with me on a Mel? I don't care who the Mel is. Mel Gibson, Mel Torme. That's it. There's no Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes. That's really a last name. It doesn't count, but still. But it was the world's easiest yes.
As far as the sketches go, obviously there's some things in here that people have been waiting a long time to see, but in terms of everything else, because everything else is completely new and completely hysterical, what did the top down of building that look like? How did you decide what was going to end up in this project?
Well, when we first all started talking about what the show could look like, we kept going back to the movie. We knew the movie had such a great structure where you have some of the longer pieces where you invest a little more time, i.e. Rome and the French Revolution. So we knew we wanted to do that. And I wanted to do a Civil War thing. And Wanda wanted to tell a Shirley Chisholm story. And Nick wanted to tell a story about, kind of a Russian Jew living in the shtetl. And so once we had those kind of big cornerstone worlds, then the rest of it was just a lot of like, hey, what's a funny thing? Oh yeah, Amelia Earhart has opened her own bar for ladies only. Or Alexander Graham Bell, right after he made the first phone call, he got the first crank. So it was really just, once we kind of knew what those bigger pieces were, we just had like a really fun time for months. Just, what do you got? You know what I mean? Give me a period, give me a funny premise, give me a character you want to play. And then once we kind of shot it all, while we were shooting it, we kind of started in our minds a little bit thinking, well, this would pair very well with this, and this goes nicely with this can't be with that. So in post, we would have these long kind of edit sessions where we were like, this is the order of the show, and it's not going to change. And then 48 hours later, we're like, totally new version with different pieces moving around. So it was definitely a group effort, but I think we got it there.
Yeah, and also like the sketch from the movie of I give you these 15, 10 commandments. So we said let's continue something from the Bible as far as to make it a one of our tent poles, as we call them.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And was there anything, because I obviously know there was a big writing team for this show, so was there anything that kind of ended up on the cutting room floor that you guys thought might make it in, but then at the last minute you were like, oh no, this isn't going to work?
There was so much stuff. But it was not big. It was just because of time and money,
right?
The only one we went down the road on writing a big story about Cuba.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then by the end, we were like, nothing that we shot.
Yeah,
No. We ended up overwriting and shooting the perfect amount, I would say. But there are so many premises and periods and characters that we have more than enough for season 2.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on.
Pages.
It writes itself.
Hey, you should do part 3, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but was there any characters that you two played? Because obviously you're in a number of the sketches, not just the sort of longer running ones. Was there any that you were particularly attached to? Was it Shirley Chisholm? Was it Ulysses S. Grant? Or was it something else?
I'm very fond of Shirley Chisholm, and I've always wanted to play Shirley Chisholm. So getting to do this, and then to do it in a format that I love, which is multicam. And I mean, come on, the wardrobe alone.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
So good.
That was that was just a real treat for me to be able to play that and have fun. And then with Marla Gibbs too.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Forget it. George Wallace.
As George Wallace.
It's crazy. I was very into playing Ulysses S. Grant. I've always said he's one of our hottest presidents. The only other character I remember being I was excited for a lot of them. When we started breaking the Beatles gospel, I had been watching the Beatles documentary, and I was obsessed with Ringo and kind of the way he talks a lot. So that was a really fun one to do. Ringo, not 1-to-1, as Mark, I think.
And one last question for the both of you, speaking of Ulysses S. Grant. Neither of them are very desirable places to go to, but if you had to pick one, would you rather go to the Rock Ridge from Blazing Saddles or the Rock Ridge from Part 2?
You're either somewhere in the Yukon Territory or West Virginia.
The Yukon.
I think the Yukon. I think my chances out west.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to say that, but I'm sure there's some fun pubs in West Virginia.
Again, you guys partied down and
we had a great time.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
There was a party happening. I'll go there.
You say West Virginia, I'll say the original OG Rock Ridge. Either way, we're having a drink.
Well, thank you guys so much. It was great to meet you.
Great to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you too.